What's going on, guys? Digidesdan here, and I'm back with just another pickup video, weekly pickup video. This week was full of fantastic finds. I know I say that a lot, but this week was actually just jam-packed full of stuff that I ended up getting, and from all different places too. So I'll just go down the list. I'll try to make this real quick. Starting with Value Village, so just a chain thrift store that I go to. Found a lot of random stuff like this here. This is a plush Charizard from, I believe it is 1998. Still got the tag on it. Got it for a couple bucks in the same store. I also got GameCube controller for $4. A Wavebird controller for $4. It's got the battery cover but no receiver. Still a good deal without the receiver, even though those are a little bit hard to come by. And then a Wii Motion Plus Wii Remote for $4. I needed a fourth controller for my Wii U, so I decided to pick this up. So that's all I found from Value Village this week. Moving on to Gamestop. A thing that my fiance and I are really into collecting and doing together are jigsaw puzzles. So what's nice about GameStop is they actually have video game related puzzles. She likes the Disney stuff, I like the video game stuff. And they had this puzzle that I did not have yet, and it is The Legend of Zelda. So if you look at it, if I can get the glare out of it, it is Link riding Epona in Hyrule Field. And yeah, pretty cool. It's 550 pieces and it was $10. So GameStop, thanks a lot. Okay, Half Price Books. So Half Price Books is one of my favorite stores. You can always find good deals there on guides, on comics, on games sometimes, you know, if they're slipping. And I went to the store that I normally have the most luck in, and I caught them slipping just a tiny bit. Another book that I found, or that my fiance found actually, was How to Draw Nintendo Heroes and Villains. So if you're ever curious about learning how to draw Luigi and Mario, it shows you step-by-step diagrams and ways on how to draw them. You can also learn how to draw Kirog, who's, I guess, Bowser. I don't know. Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Chunky. Yeah, so we got like all the different, even King K. Rool. Got all the great characters in here. It looks like it's from 2000, kind of like Nintendo 64 era. But this was a very cool find. It was only a couple bucks. And we have a couple guides also from Half Price Books. So we have the official racing guide from Nintendo Power for Diddy Kong Racing, and this was $7.49, which is not bad. It's in amazing shape. It's very minty. And then we have Super Game Boy for $5. So this guide just tells you tips and tricks on your Game Boy games. If you ever have any issues, actually Game Boy games on the Super Game Boy for Super Nintendo. And it has the colored illustrations of what it looks like and everything, and provides you tips on how to play these games. As for the game side, I did find a couple games at Half Price Books, a couple commons that I didn't have and kind of wanted to have eventually, and for a reasonable price too. So I got the Black Label Golf for NES, it was $3, and then the Black Label Mach Rider for NES for $3. Also from Half Price Books, it is Worms Armageddon. So this was $10. I believe this goes for maybe 20 to 30 complete in box. So they slipped just a tiny bit. $10 is more close to the loose price. And the box is in very good shape. The manual is in very good shape. The only thing this is actually missing is the plastic bag that the game cartridge comes in. So it's got the manual, it's got the inserts, it's got the cardboard game holder, the cartridge itself, everything. So yeah, Worms Armageddon. Now, if only I could find the Nintendo 64 version. I just don't want to pay, $200 plus. Okay, what's next? eBay. So eBay is my best friend. If I have that burning hole in my pocket, I just have to spend some money, I'll find something on eBay. And there was one game that I've been looking for a while, and I just happened to find a bundle on eBay for auction, and I put in, my best offer, and I ended up winning it. So I ended up getting 3 games. 2 of them I don't necessarily need or want, but the last one was the one I was shooting for. So the first game is Lethal Weapon on NES. This is not complete, actually. The auction had 3 games in it. They had the boxes, the Nintendo desk cover sleeve, and the cartridge itself, but no manuals. So none of these games have manuals. So if you open up the game and pull it out, box is in very good shape. And looking at the game cartridge, it's also in very good shape. It's almost brand new, actually. If I actually took apart the cartridge itself to take a look at the pins, and it looked like it was put in a game console maybe once. Okay, next up after Lethal Weapon is James Bond Jr. So same part of the same lot, number 2 out of 3. Box is in incredible condition. Again, if I open it up, the cart is just as immaculate as Lethal Weapon before. Label is nice and glossy. So is the actual plastic on it. It looks like it's never been touched. The contacts, again, polished and incredible. Looks like it was put in the game system maybe 2 or 3 times, and one of the times was in mine. So this game I'm not too particularly fond of, but again, for the value that I got these 3 games at, I couldn't say no. So the last game that I have out of this lot was the reason I bought it. It was $97 after the auction, and then about $108 after shipping. So this one's also a box copy game, and the box isn't as great condition as the other 2, but it's still cool nonetheless. It is Vice Project Doom. So if you haven't played this is insanely hard, but it's a super fun game. It is just a mixture of everything. It's an action game, but you have like a vertical scrolling shooter feature in the game, and then you have an action platformer where you're shooting things or whipping things with your sword. There's also a portion where you're shooting things as like a rail shooter, so kind of like Hogan's Alley sort of thing. But this game is very intriguing. Lots of different levels. I mean, not a lot, but there's a lot of different things that you can do in this, and the boss fights are very challenging. So if you do like a challenge, if you do like a lot of variety in your games, you gotta try out Vice Project Doom. The cart itself is only maybe at $30-$35, so it's not too bad, but for the price that I got these 3 games at, for $97, $108 after shipping, it's not a bad deal. So I'll be trading and selling the other 2 to recoup my costs, and I'll be playing Vice Project Doom. I also stopped by my local game store that I have a lot of credit in, and I happened to find a couple games that I believe that they were slipping on. They're Game Boy Color games, but they're sealed. They're a little bit more uncommon, and they are Worms Armageddon again. So I'll show that a little bit closer to you. Don't mind my band-aid, so you can see that it's actually different than the copy I showed you before, right here, which has the half-price book sticker on it. This one was $10. This one was $20. I figured for $20 for a sealed copy is not too bad. And I also know somebody that might want it, so that's not bad. The next one was a little bit more for me. I don't know if I'll hold on to it, but it is a cool game nonetheless. It is a little bit more obscure. It is called Wendy Every Which Way. And so if you haven't played this game for Game Boy Color, I think you must. If you've played Metal Storm on NES and you enjoyed it, this is definitely a game that you need to try out. It's the same kind of mechanic. You play as a witch, and you go around shooting things with your wand, but you can kind of control gravity to, make your way through puzzles, to make your way through the levels, to reach enemies or items that you cannot reach without switching gravity. So you might be walking, this way at one point, and then you switch, and all of a sudden you're walking this way. So it changes the level entirely. So it's a very fun mechanic. This is a very entertaining game. I heard it's kind of short. I haven't played it all the way through, but I did enjoy Metal Storm a lot. So this was definitely a game that I wanted to pick up. I might trade this again with my sealed collector buddy for maybe a loose copy or something, or something else. But again, this is a very cool find. It was $35. I know I've seen it sell on eBay for maybe 20, maybe 17 to 20, and even 35 loose. So for a sealed copy to be 35, I consider this a great deal. I do happen to collect Hot Wheels, and I do happen to collect Nintendo things. So Hot Wheels and Nintendo have been collaborating in the last few months for certain things, and this was one of their projects. There's 6 of them, and they are character-based cars. So if you look at this is Toad. It's a small little mini car. You got Yoshi tow truck and a Bowser monster truck, and these run about $5 a piece. I did mention there are 6. I couldn't hold them all at once, and so we have Mario, Princess Peach, and Luigi. So again, some more cars that are themed and based off of their characters. So these were very cool. I do not know if these are hard to find right now, or if they're highly sought after. But since I am a collector of both Nintendo and Hot Wheels, I figured might as well just pay the fee of getting it online and making sure that I get a set instead of trying to go out there and hunt. So it makes my job just a tiny bit easier on that. Got this squishable here, and if you have played Katamari, you'll recognize that this is a Katamari ball. Squishable is just a plush creator. It's very soft and squishy, which is cool. On to some of the more obscure and cooler things, if you didn't think the other stuff was cool and obscure. My fiance and I have friends that do work at Nintendo, so every now and then they'll get swag or free things if they ever attend like an event at PAX. And a lot of the time they're generous enough to, grab a few things or even just share what they have with us. So we have a good friend. He attended PAX this year, PAX West, and he was a rep there, repping Nintendo, and he was able to bring back a few things for us. And so the first thing is this banner poster for the new Pokemon Sun and Moon game. So it's got all the different new Pokemon for the new region. It's got the new, I think you call it like a Alolan or something, Alolan Meowth. Got Sandshrew and Vulpix here, right there and there, which is very cool. Just a nice little banner from PAX. He doesn't really like keeping his things. He's more of a digital guy, and so he actually just gave us his demo shirt right off his back. So it says Nintendo 3DS here, and on the back it says, "There's no play like it." So this is the shirt that he wore while he was demoing, and he was nice enough to give that to us after he was done. So next thing we have is this little envelope from Nintendo of America, and on the inside we have character cards for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So we have Zygarde, we have the new legendaries, and these are nice like cardstock, so they're very thick. They're not just paper. We have the new starters here. Alolan Sandshrew and Sandslash. The Full Moon phase, Radiant Sun phase for the new legendaries. And then the Alolan Vulpix and Ninetales. So nice cool character cards. They got information on the back as well, saying Pokemon Sun and Moon, rating, ESRB, everything. And they come in a nice little envelope. So I have no idea if they're handing these out at PAX, but either way, our friend was kind enough to get it for us since we did not attend this year. And then lastly, another friend at Nintendo was nice enough to give us this pouch here. So if you were a member of Club Nintendo, you might recognize this. This is one of the last few Club Nintendo physical rewards that they provided. It is a Legend of Zelda pouch with all the different items and characters on there. On the back it says Nintendo with Zelda on the back with one of the pieces of the Triforce. Also says Club Nintendo here. This is meant to hold your 3DS or whatever else you want to hold in it. So they were nice enough to give this to us just because they're super nice. And now we have this piece. I actually used my points on the Majora's Mask puzzle and could not get this, but this is nice to have now that Club Nintendo is gone and there's no other way to get it unless you wanted to pay money on eBay. So the very last thing I have for you is actually the most exciting piece. It is one of the oldest pieces, and I've been looking for it for a while. I found it on OfferUp, but it actually turned out to be a friend of mine selling it, or not a friend of mine, a collecting acquaintance of mine that I've traded with before. He is now my friend, but I found the ad on OfferUp, and then I messaged him on my Facebook group saying, hey, is this you selling it? And he said, yeah. So I asked him if he wanted to sell it to me, and that way he can take it off of OfferUp, and I'd be guaranteed sale, no flaking, that sort of thing. And he agreed. He met me that night, and I walked away with less money in my pocket, but one cool piece from my collection. And so this is a little big. You may have seen it on my Instagram or my Facebook, but it is a Nintendo chest. So really it's just a piece of plywood with graphics on it. It's got Nintendo on the front with Link and Mario. If you turn it to the side, you got Super Mario Bros. On the other side, you got the old lady with the Triforce and Link. And on the last one, it says Legend of Zelda. On the very top, you have a more fuller picture of Mario, Princess Peach, Toad, and a few of the bad guys like the Hammer Bros, Alakitu, Koopa, Blooper, all that fun stuff. It's got hinges on it. If you open them up, or it's got the latches on here, if you open up both sides, you can lift this whole top off, and it's just plywood on the inside, but you can't put stuff in here. It's made out of wood. It's fairly light, but it is very cool. So it's very nice because I actually have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles version of it. It's got like Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo on it. But ever since I found the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, I really wanted myself a Nintendo one. So luckily, my collecting friend had one he wanted to get rid of, and I paid about $70 for it, which is not bad because they go for about maybe $100, $150. So yeah, those were my pickups for this week. I know there was a lot of them. Thanks for sticking with me. But if you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really working to put out some more content for you guys. I'm just waiting for my computer to be built, and so I can start recording gameplay in better quality without having to run into any other trouble. So yeah, if you did like this, please do all those things that I said before, and we'll see you on the next one.